And you know what? I just think you're never going to agree with me. I'm too smart. You're too dumb. I'm a traditional high-value man, and you're nothing. Oh, interesting. As a traditional high-value man, your wife has 3 baby daddies, and I just... Why would you say that? That really hurt my feelings.
What's up, taters? This is Tree from treeoflogic.com, and welcome to my channel, Just Tree 411. And yes, hopefully this should be the last video about, Andrew Wilson and his 5x3 wife, Rachel Wilson. I thought this would have died out like earlier this week, like this past Sunday, but it keeps going on and on and on, and it gets even worse. Now, many of you were asking me, can I create a video reacting to the TikTok reaction? And instead of me reacting to their reaction, I'm just going to show their reactions, and there's a lot of reaction. This is still hot on TikTok as I speak, okay? But I want you to understand that Too Lazy to Try uploaded a video yesterday, and I'll include the link in the description box. He sat down, salute to him. He sat down and watched the entire 6-hour debate. I would have never done that. I couldn't even make it past 3 hours. And so he saw some clips in there that were shocking. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. However, the reason I'm going to show this particular segment of his video is because he proves my point. And I'm so glad he saw what I've always known. Rachel is the one who is in charge of that relationship. She's 5 years older than Andrew, so therefore she tells him what to do. Now, before you older wives and your younger husbands start coming for me, let me just say this, hashtag not all. But if I throw a rock at a pack of dogs and the only one yelping in pain is the one that got hit, and you all chimping out in the comments, I'm older than my husband and he tells me what to do, you're a liar. I don't believe you, because you don't have to defend yourself if this doesn't apply to you. But I see a lot of older women who marry younger men, and those older women become the mother of the relationship. They're not the wife. And so that is what Rachel does. Rachel wants to be famous, and she vicariously used her simp cuck husband to do so. So I'm just going to play this small clip from this video because he actually saw what I've been saying for the last 2 years. Check it out.
Period. Well, also,
and the way Andrew talks about his wife, you'd think she's some quiet lady who stays off social media and focuses on the family and their home, but she's really a vulgar loudmouth that's trying to be an influencer. She also always feels the need to step in and try to fight Andrew's battles for him. Like, she's always crashing out on Twitter, going hard, trying to defend him.
She does this all the time, and I talked about this on my live stream. I said, look, whenever my husband is getting into a tit for tat with another guy, I don't jump in because he's a man. I don't emasculate my husband. I basically let him do what he wants to do in reference to men things. So if he wants to go back and forth with another man, then I'm going to let him. One thing my husband doesn't do is go back and forth with a woman. He doesn't argue with women, and I always admire that because my father was the same way. But Rachel, being older than Andrew, running Andrew, she's the puppet master of Andrew. She always have to insert herself to defend, her child.
And one time a girl got in Andrew's face, so then she called into the show and went off on her. And she just does not sound like a traditional feminine lady at all.
I told Priscilla that if she comes anywhere near my husband, she's going to have to deal with me. I'll fly out there and she could try getting in my face and see how tough she feels then. Because I guarantee if it was me sitting across from your ass, you would not have had that kind of energy whatsoever. That is bullshit. And for you to think that you can physically attack my husband, like get in his face, say you want to take him outside on a national TV show that everyone saw, and then come back in the studio and act like you didn't do nothing, like, well, he made fun of me. Too bad. Are you a child or are you a grown woman? Have some self-control. And if you can't have some self-control, I'll come over there and teach you some. How about that?
And she treats Andrew like a child. She always acts like she needs to step in and protect him, and she does everything for him. It's so embarrassing. But Andrew seems to have no shame about it. Like, he completely relies on his wife. I think his wife is more independent than he is.
Obviously she's independent. she has a lot of practice being independent, especially when she was a single baby mama. The type of women that Andrew would condemn, dehumanize, and embarrass.
It sounds like he'd be totally lost without her. Like when she talks about taking care of him, it sounds like she's literally taking care of a child.
Andrew, when Rachel said that she does all domestic chores, is there anything you do? I mean, do you put the bins out? Do you the trash out? I mean, what do you do anything?
I don't do shit.
Andrew has never done a house chore ever in 17 years. I do all of that. I bring him his food. I bring him his drinks. I keep track of his schedule.
My wife foresees my needs before I foresee my needs. She knows what I want to eat before I even know what I want to eat. She knows what it is that I want before I know what it is that I want. She foresees all of my needs.
So she runs this man's life. It's pathetic. But then she has to pretend like Andrew's a big, strong, masculine man that she needs to take care of her. And I mean, it just seems patronizing. Like after he couldn't open that pickle jar, of course his wife jumped to his defense and was like, actually, Andrew opens pickle jars at home all the time.
I mean, it's just so embarrassing. Dude, the reason why your husband can't open pickle jars is because he doesn't do anything heavier than lift a cigarette and a glass of whiskey to his mouth. That's it. Rachel runs that relationship. Rachel is the alpha of this relationship. Andrew is the beta. Now, he may seem alpha to some women because he likes to attack women. Let me tell you something. Real alpha men don't attack women. Real alpha men do not debate and argue with women. So I want you guys to understand that Rachel runs that relationship because anytime something happens to Andrew, Rachel runs in and emasculate him even further by defending him and fighting on his behalf. So with that being said, let's look at the TikTok reactions to this debate that Andrew had with Charlie. There was so many, I couldn't put all of them here, but I think you're going to be very pleased with the selection that I have for you today. Enjoy.
There have been two distinct reactions I've been seeing from men on my feed in regards to Andrew Wilson's crash out on the Whatever podcast. And the first one is men standing up and saying, this is what the red pill movement truly represents. A bunch of weak, insecure men proposing ideals and standards on naive young men when they themselves don't even reach the expectations that they've been imposing on others. And I do agree with that because I still fervently believe that a lot of these red pill content creators got traumatized from being rejected from like their middle school or high school crush and then just never got over it and decided to blame women for the rest of their lives in regards of it. And then this and then the second reaction I've been seeing on my feed is men being like, hold up, why is he saying eating box is an insult? Like, box is a Scooby snack and I'm a dog.
Isn't it funny how the loudest critic in the room, the one who runs their mouth the most, folds the fastest when the mirror gets turned around on who they are as a person? I'm talking about Andrew Wilson here specifically, okay? And if you don't know who he is, he's some dude that has a podcast, okay? And I've seen it on in my Reels feed a few times on Facebook or whatever. But his podcast is literally, the whole basis of his podcast is about judging other people. And I actually laughed at some of the things he said. I think he's way too rude in a whole bunch of it. But I laughed at some of the things he said. So I've seen a few of his clips. But he's literally judging other people consistently. One of the things he judges people on the most, specifically women, are on sleeping around and have multiple baby daddies. And as it happens, somebody named Charlie calls him out on his podcast saying, doesn't your wife have multiple baby daddies, bro? And all of a sudden he just loses his frickin' mind. Okay, how do you have the right to lose your frickin' mind when you've called out women with multiple baby daddies on your own podcast and talked horrible about them, said horrible, monstrous things about them, and then you break and short circuit the second somebody points out that your wife also has that? I don't know, man, that's kind of weak aside from being hypocritical in my opinion.
He could not handle it. He could not handle being reminded that somebody else has entered his wife multiple times with her dog face, has been married to her multiple times with her dog face, and that right now he is currently experiencing sloppy thirds, and that he's probably taking care of two other man's kids. Holy shit. because the way that he reacted was by saying, "You lick sniz." All that means is that you don't.
Now, clearly what she said about his wife wasn't news to him, but it may have been news to his audience, and that's the real reason why I think he was so upset. So many of them jump online to discredit and disparage women, saying they're used up, washed up, leftover women after 35, but secretly they are with some of those same women. I think he got upset because the rhetoric that he has helped to promote isn't even a lifestyle that he lives by. Out of all the things he called her, he never called her a liar. So what's so disrespectful about the truth? Admitting that he's with a woman who has 3 different kids by 3 different men and has been married twice, it goes against his own personal brand. Instead of telling his audience that a woman's past doesn't define her, just like it didn't define his wife, he has to hold on to the lie that these women are supposed to be pure as the freshly driven snow. He's upset that the woman that he chose is probably going to be harshly judged by the men he has taught to harshly judge women. I think what he's most upset about is the hypocrisy in what he practices and what he preaches. But he didn't find a needle in the haystack. There are plenty of good women out there who've been divorced before or who have kids by more than one man. Clearly he knows that, but he's okay if his audience doesn't.
Andrew Wilson's hypocrisy exposed. A woman directly revealed the chaotic past of his wife. This host, known for positioning himself on a moral high ground, has long criticized women who have had previous marriages and children by multiple fathers. But ironically, his own wife fits those descriptions. When he saw his wife's past exposed, he could no longer maintain his perfect image. He started crying, vomiting, and breaking down. Because he knew that his worst fear had come true, his hypocrisy was completely exposed. He preaches standards to others while tramping the very standards he imposes on other women in his own life. This caused him to completely collapse because he knew his public image was destroyed. What's even more shocking is that this woman didn't say anything wrong. She simply revealed that he and his wife had similar pasts, and that was the secret he feared the most being exposed. He had always believed that a woman's past would forever be a stain, but he never imagined that his wife's history would ultimately become his indelible stain. He preaches these moral standards while violating them himself. Do you think he should be held accountable for this?
Yeah, and shout out to the white woman that told that red pillar, Andrew, your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before, so I don't think you're... He got so mad, so triggered, but the best thing he could come up with was, yeah, well, you lick schniz. You said it like you don't, Andrew. You don't lick schniz? Y'all both don't lick schniz? There's only one schniz licker in this room. Y'all can't bond over the fact that you both sometimes tweedle-deedle-dee on a little cootie bird, munch a little carpet. Come on now. How you gonna get mad when somebody states facts about your life back to you? They making an observation. Hey, so your wife has 3 baby daddies and 2 ex-husbands? Don't get mad. You must be insecure about it. You must not like that. You chose her though. That's your wife to have it to hold and all that. Don't get mad. Imagine somebody told me, hey, Nate, your hairline's running away from you and your nose got a big booty. I'd be like, facts. Facts. Can't you to notice.
Andrew Wilson just told us how he really feels about his wife. This woman only stated facts. She said, your wife has 3 baby daddies and she's been married twice. And he said, don't talk about my wife. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Nobody said that was a bad thing. This woman not only just made you crash out, she exposed you for being ashamed of your wife's past. I feel sorry for her that she had to find out this way how you really feel about her. Like, this is crazy work. If I had to find out this way on a podcast that you're ashamed of me, yeah, you can go here and keep it pushing. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Give me a 3rd marriage. Like, it ain't that serious.
Have we not learned enough about following people that we don't know about? Andrew Wilson, I am here for everything that you got served on a hot ass platter when you were asked, how can you stand up here and spew all of this stuff? And everything that you believe is right home laying next to you at night. How do you feel, sir? How do you feel? Now, see, nobody would judge you for your situation. You're the one that started this judgment. You got up there thinking that people would never figure out your background and your lifestyle. And the fact that your wife doesn't look at you like, are you serious? You, like, if she's one of your biggest supporters, she's a dumbass too. How the 3 baby daddies and 2 marriages. Y'all gonna stop listening to these men. There's something wrong with you. The fact that you think that you were cool with doing that, like nobody was ever going to check you, that's a narcissistic cockiness that a lot of men possess. And I am so glad that there is a woman or a man, I can't remember who it is, that burst that bubble for you. Have the day you deserve, Andrew Wilson.
If there were no cameras, Andrew Wilson would have jumped over that table and he would attack that girl. It's like he was seeing his whole life crumble right before his eyes. Not gonna lie, it was beautiful.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
So this man built his whole brand on trash talking women with a past. But guess what? He went home and married one. Yep, the red pill dude who screams that single moms are low value and divorced women are used goods just got exposed for having a wife with 2 ex-husbands and 3 baby daddies. The same category of woman he tells his followers to never touch is literally sleeping in his bed every night. And when the girl he was debating said it out loud, oh, he lost it. I'm talking pacing, yelling, breathing like he just ran uphill in flip-flops. But funny thing is, he never said she was lying. Not once, because she wasn't. He wasn't mad she said it. He was mad the internet finally heard it. See, his whole alpha act depends on pretending he lives the life he preaches. Meanwhile, he's out here giving TED Talks on female purity while being married to the exact woman his audience clowns every day. That's why he spiraled. Not from disrespect, but from being exposed as a fraud. Instead of using the moment to tell his followers, hey, a woman's past doesn't define her, he chose to throw a tantrum like his masculinity had a dead battery. He wanted to be the leader of the purity police, but ended up revealing he's just another dude who talks tough online and lives a completely different story offline. The truth is simple. He doesn't hate women with a past. He just hates admitting he married one.
Wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
You lick sniz.
So apparently women are more emotional, which is why they're not fit for leadership. Meanwhile, we have a man having a meltdown because the woman just called him out on his BS. I've said this before and I will say it again. A lot of these men out there that preach conservative values and traditional gender roles do not even believe in these things that they're preaching, because what they care about is to control women. And they want to get young men out there to believe the same rhetoric that they want to enforce, because at the end of the day, they themselves don't even uphold it. Which in his case, there's nothing wrong you marrying someone that obviously has 3 kids, specifically if they are a single mom. But it's the fact that you jump on the internet and preach about women being conservative, they need to have low body count, they need to be subservient, they need to be, in the domestic role, they need to be there and serve a man, when you're neither. Because you yourself are not upholding the same traditional values you're pushing on other people. Because for you, it's a facade.
Y'all, this man built an entire brand off trash-talking women with a past, single moms, divorced women, anyone who didn't fit his little pure and untouched fantasy. But the gag is, he went home and married the exact type of woman he tells his followers to avoid. His wife has 2 ex-husbands and 3 baby daddies. The Sam category of woman he screams is low value is literally sleeping next to him every night. And when the girl he was debating said it out loud, oh, he lost it. Pacing, yelling, breathing hard like he just sprinted uphill in flip-flops. But here's the funniest part. He never once said she was lying. Not even a little. Because she wasn't. He wasn't mad about the disrespect. He was mad the whole internet finally heard the truth. His entire alpha act depends on pretending he lives the life he preaches. He's out here giving sermons on female purity while being married to the exact woman his audience clowns every day. That's why he spiraled, not because she exposed his wife, but because she exposed him. And instead of taking the opportunity to tell his followers, hey, a woman's past doesn't define her, he threw a tantrum like his masculinity needed jumper cables. He wanted to be the leader of the purity police, but accidentally revealed he's just another dude who talks tough online and lives a totally different story offline. At the end of the day, he doesn't hate women with a past. He just hates admitting he married one.
And when I tell you this is what they are mad about, that women do have value no matter what their past is, because this is the reality. That's not his dream girl. That lady, and I steer clear talking about people looks unless they're terrible people and also out here perpetuating terribleness. And then we got to give you a reality check. Because they want to act like they are Donald Trump and pull Melania. Donald Trump got Melania because he has money. These podcasters and stuff, these average ugly dudes with an average amount of money, they not pulling no baddies. Don't nobody want them. He had to settle for somebody that had, by his own standards, kids and previous marriages. Because he says that's not even what if a guy can get something else. He said that in one of his clips. If you can choose between one or the other, a single mom and a woman who doesn't have kids, pick the one that doesn't have kids. He didn't have a choice. That's what he's mad about. She's not a baddie. She got kids, But guess what? He's a man, and men, especially conservative men are so evil and terrible. They have to have somebody in their household to yell at and back up their stuff. That's why you notice they'll get mad when people say, like, nobody wants to be friends with them. Well, how come you guys can't just get along with us? Because we don't want to hear that bullshit. Don't nobody want to sit up and listen to you. They got to get married, because otherwise they'll be at the crib by themselves with their beer hollering into their podcast mic and nobody else. They need somebody to be exposed to that. So he has to get married, and that's all he could get. And that's why he was so triggered by what she said, and he took it as an insult. Because having 3 baby daddies, to me, is not an insult. Hey, sound like you tried out here and these men was messing up. Okay. But to him, it's an insult, because that's not what he would have picked if he had other choices. But because women, no matter what, have value, he had to get a woman. He had to. And that is exactly why he is mad.
Saying your wife has 3 baby daddies and was married 3 different times while sitting there with a cold, straight face has to be the greatest comeback of all time. This man was so stressed that he started making up random words. He started stuttering and making up random words. Imagine you are going into work, right? And you're thinking that you're going to just tear somebody apart. You're thinking, oh, I got away with this a few times, so it's going to happen again. And then you come against the one, right? And the fact that he tries to come back after the argument, she's like, Andrew, you're embarrassed. Like, oh. These red pill men are selling young men a lie. These red pill men are selling men a lie in general. Instead of telling men, hey, grow up, work hard, gain some emotional balance. People need to realize these red pill guys were the losers in school, and they're just trying to live through other young men. They don't even practice what they preach.
I was right. I'm always right. I was talking about the red pill when Sneaky-O made that video saying that it was dead. Click this comment right here. A lot of these red pill coaches and alpha male people that these guys buy into, they don't practice what they preach at all. And shout out to this lady right here, because she ethered him and she kept her cool the entire time. Oh, is it you're 29 and you like sniz and you... This is a grown man having a hissy fit. He was getting rage baited by the truth. Normally they just say don't get with a woman that has kids. This guy was with a woman who had 3 different children with 3 different men. That's 3 times the baby daddy drama. And he's over here telling people what to do with their life. Yo, buddy, take your own advice. Same thing happened with Donovan Sharp. He got exposed for being with a woman with kids. Myron Gaines, he was 35, got in a relationship for the first time, and she left him for a construction worker. What happened to hypergamy? Just keep naming people because it was always a grift. It was always about getting people to buy your course. This is always why they bring on a bunch of friends only models, because they're easy dunks. The moment that you bring somebody that has 2 brain cells, you could pick it apart easily. Other than that though, let me know your thoughts in the comments. That's crazy.
And there you have it, taters. So that concludes the TikTok reaction to 5x3 Rachel and her simp husband, Andrew Wilson. Do you think they're going to stop beating up on women? Do you think they're going to stop harassing women? Do you think they're going to stop degrading women after this? The answer is no. They're going to chill out for maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, but come January, he'll start doing it again, and then he'll get bodied by somebody else who watched my video. Because that's exactly what Charlie did. She saw my video, and therefore she came prepared. But anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Like I said, I think we should be over this unless they say something or do something else. Who knows? But as of right now, maybe this is dying out. But like I said, too lazy to try. Made a video about it yesterday, so I expect this to go on for a while. And let's not forget, ABBA and Preach haven't touched on it yet. So I think once ABBA and Preach touch on it, then that news will start to decline. But either way, be sure to give this video a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new. And I'll see you guys on my live stream or on the next video. Later, taters.